The council in the next 6 minutes is going to deal with 3 issues. Issue 1 being whether or not the tapping of the phone by the government authority and the administrative authority is indeed arbitrary and is in violation of Article 4. Any arbitrary action of the state or an administrative authority is definitely in negation of equality of an individual. And before going on any further into this issue, I would like to broadly explain what an arbitrary administrative action is from the case of Barnani Amman Sugars versus the Commercial Tax Officer. Wherein an arbitrary administrative action, when a particular mode is described for doing an action, and there is a discharge in the mode from this action, and the discharge is not governed by any rational principle, then the action of the administrative authority becomes arbitrary. In the present case, the given procedure is Rule 419A of the Indian Telegraph Act, which says that tapping of a phone should not exceed beyond 180 days, and the non-adherence or the discharge from the said procedure being tapping the phone for 300 days. And this discharge from the said action is not being governed by any rational principle or justification. Thus, it submitted before the Honorable Court that the action of state is indeed arbitrary and is in violation of Article 4. It is where the court, my second sub-issue lies as to how, on what grounds was the permission granted to the IT department. IT department falls under CBD, and it deals with mainly issues like money laundering, evasion of tax, and certain other economic offences. Section 5(2) of the Indian Telegraph Act again says that a public emergency is a prerequisite for tapping of a telephone. And the public emergency is not being explained explicitly in the statute, but public emergency is followed by the phrase "in the interest of public safety." So thus, public emergency has to be read as something which raises serious concerns and issues about public safety within the fold of this section. And moreover, economic emergency is something which is not expressly mentioned in the statute. And although IT has powers to tap phones, it can do so only if there is no other alternative available for it for gaining the evidence. Under 419A, Clause 3, Subclause 2 of the Indian Telegraph Act. But the IT department resorted to the last method of phone tapping instead of using its various other powers it had under Section 131 and 132 of the IT Act. So this clearly shows that it's a clear-cut arbitrary action on the part of the department, and there was no occurrence of public emergency, and since there was no occurrence of public emergency, there was no issue of raising concerns about public safety. So in spite of this, the authority has resorted to telephone tapping, and this indeed is an arbitrary action and is a violation of Article 14. Moving on to the second issue, whether or not the negligent action of the state has violated the right to privacy of the respondent. Firstly, the government owed a duty of care since the investigation is still in process. It owed a duty of care to the respondent to withhold these recorded telephonic conversations and maintain its confidentiality. But the very fact that these telephonic conversations were leaked to a leading newspaper highlight the fact that the government was negligent in withholding the information. So the tap conversations were intended for one use by the government, but then the grievance is about the unauthorized publication of these telephonic conversations into the leading newspaper of Saurashtra, which raises serious threat to the right to privacy of the respondent in the case. And the second sub-issue being the right to privacy here in this case overlaps with right to freedom of speech and expression. In PUCN case, it was held by the Supreme Court that when a person is talking on telephone, he is exercising his right to freedom of speech and expression. And this right cannot be curtailed until and unless it falls under the reasonable restrictions of 19.2. But here it's already been contended that the action of the state was arbitrary and it did not satisfy any grounds like either public emergency, public safety, or a threat to sovereignty, security of India, etc. So this itself is again arbitrary and is a violation of Article 19.1 when it's read along with Article 21 in the given case. And the final issue here being that the leakage of these recorded telephonic conversations amounted to the violation of right to livelihood of the respondent. Since investigation is in the process again, it is a duty of the government to withhold the information and maintain confidentiality of these recorded telephonic conversations. And the fact that this got leaked to a newspaper caused serious questions about her, serious questions and and it affected the reputation of the respondent in her business circle. And affect to the reputation since she's running a consultancy business and telephonic conversations being a part and parcel of her, very essential part and parcel of her job. Indeed, the state curtailing this right of freedom of speech and expression as well as negligent action of the state harming her reputation. Both of them indeed affected her income of the business and thus are detrimental to the growth of her trade and commerce and indeed violation of the right of livelihood. So in the light of the above facts, issues raised, arguments advanced and authorities cited, the Council prays that the Honourable Court dismisses the appeal petition and withholds the judgment of the Honourable High Court of Saurashtra and pass any judgment that it seems fit in the interest of justice, equity, good conscience. It's been an honor.
What do you expect when submitting the rational principles?
Rational
What should
principles.
be the expected rational principles?
It has to be fair, it has to be reasonable, it has to apply to everyone equally. It should not be based on whims and fancies of the government. If there is a particular mode prescribed and if it's not following the mode, it has to be a proper justification as to why the mode is not followed. That is
how do you relate Article 21 of this
right to privacy, right to life is something that just merely does not mean the animal existence of the human being. It means living with dignity. And when you say living with dignity, here comes into picture your right to privacy. And in many cases, starting from Rajasthan versus State of Goa versus State of Madhya Pradesh, and even in POC, the Supreme Court has held that right to privacy is an integral part of your right to life. When your reputation is being harmed, when your privacy is being breached, it's a serious threat to your life. You cannot live your life anymore dignity if your privacy is being breached. You cannot, an investigation is still in process. And about that, even though the investigation is in process, the facts clearly indicate the point that the conversations were leaked and were not disclosed. So the leakage shows that it has been used in every transaction.
Don't you think that government is responsible?
Even though there was leakage, what the basic factor which the council is trying to establish is this leakage would help or affect the public interest at large. Now, as also held in the case of Indian Express, the Supreme Court held that any information which helps a democratic general public in a democratic society to decide on issues directly or indirectly affecting them can be published in newspapers or any such medium. Now, in this case, there is some grossly affecting objects which will affect the public order, as has been clearly stated in section 5 subclause 2, will affect the public order indirectly affecting the public. Now, to give an example, in the lieu of the recent events, even though the council should not comment on a pending case in the Supreme Court, the entire 2G scam was unveiled through a telephonic conversation, and it was sensationalized after it got published. So the public spectrum or natural resource of the country, which does affect the people at large, will in some way or the other matter to the public. And hence it is important for the public to know what is happening around, and that is why the publication of it was justified, and the Supreme Court does stand with this decision in the Indian Express.
Evidence is going on, then it will certainly affect if the matter is leaked and published in newspaper.
Investigation. Now, during this
Investigation process is going on, publication of the news will not affect the privacy.
It
won't affect the collection of the evidence any more.
No, it will not affect the publication, the collection or hamper the investigation as such, because the investigative agencies do not have any hand. It won't bother or affect the investigation agencies directly or indirectly. But as a democratic society, as a government which has been elected by the people, it is the right of the government to let the people know of what is happening in the country. And because this entire conversation was violating the public order, it was the duty of the government to let the public know of what happened, and hence this conversation was leaked in the public, because it can be established from the facts that there was no gossip involved in it. So it had pure hardcore substance. And because it had substance affecting the public, the council thinks that the publication stands valid.
Thank you, Professor. Honored. May I proceed with my question, Arun? My first issue is whether the publication of Ms. Veera's private conversation is violation of her right of privacy. My argument is that publication of Ms. Veera's private conversation is not violation of her right to privacy, as India does not have a specific legislation on privacy. There is nowhere defined what privacy is, and whether conversation of Ms. Veera in her official capacity with a business person would be considered as a professional conversation or a private conversation. And if a professional conversation falls in the ambit of privacy, as it is in relation to business, of which various facets are governed by legality of it. Instead, publication of conversation amounts to an act against the state, as an important government document was acquired and published